Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. And a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Satnam, Satnam, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. Here we are this Friday evening to do some mini readings, and we do have 4 people on the list already. So if you want to get on the list, click the link in the description of the video, send the $25 to my PayPal, and then I will add you to it, and then we will go one by one and get through the whole list. So the people that we have on the list for tonight are Tara is first, then we have Jude, then we have Megan, and then we have Jennifer. So there's still plenty of room to get on the list, and I hope that tonight's readings are freaking amazing. It's been quite wild and crazy for me. Like, these last 2 weeks are, oh my God, it's like, I feel like everything has been all over the place, and I have been learning so much, like just like bombarding, in a good way, because that's kind of what I do. That's what my mind does. It just absorbs information. And I've been like bombarded with so much knowledge this week, and making so many connections, and understanding who I am and where I'm coming from, and what my gift is truly. And it's just, it's honestly, for me personally, it's been this kind of emotional roller coaster, because I feel like the more that we understand who we are, the more that we can see where we are not exactly maybe expressing the best of ourselves, or where you can see that you may be putting something that's really important to you to the side, or you may feel insecure to speak your mind and to say your truth, or you may feel like just in a general sense, just like uncomfortable. And it's just crazy. Like, there's just been so much freaking learning these last 2 weeks that it feels like I'm having this like episode right now. Hello everyone, and welcome in. I'm having this episode right now where I am really deep in contemplation. I am so deep in contemplation right now. It has been quite the I'm going to say like the last month or so, but the last couple of days have been really, really deep in contemplation. So I know that for me, when I'm in those states of consciousness and contemplation, that's truly where my creativity really lights up. And so I welcome those moments that are so powerful. However, it also means that I have felt like literally unable to like do anything other than just like be with my thoughts. So it's been quite challenging to keep up with everything that needs to happen, with everything that needs to get done, and just not in one of those moments. And another thing is understanding as a projector, like how it's okay to not always be in that, always on, because that's not in the nature of the projector to do. So either way, just wanted to share a little insight about that. But I do want to say hi to everybody that's in the chat. Hello, Maria. Hello, Jeanette. Hello, Raessa. Hello, Rebecca. Hello, April. And hello, Mama O. Thank you guys for being here. Can you tell me why my cosmic kitten puts her toys in the water bowl before she brings them to me to play fetch? That is funny. Nice. So very, very cool. Okay. Someone just got on the list as well. So Jeanette, did you just get on the list? I think that was definitely Jeanette. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of announcements. And once we are done with that, we're going to get right on going with the reading. So I'm giving everybody kind of a chance to get your question ready because when I call your name, you want to type it up in the chat and you want to put it in the chat. And that's how these readings work, unless there's like a special occasion and we've taken care of that beforehand. So Tara, if you are not here in the chat, then let us know. If you're here watching but not in the chat, then let us know. And after that, we'll have Jude, and I have your information already, and then Megan, and then Jennifer, and then Jeanette. That's who we have so far on the list. Okay, so the announcements are that we have actually completely booked up our Sedona Lionsgate retreat that's happening July 29th. So if you did pre-register, then what's going to happen is that if you didn't make your payment, then that means that somebody else took your spot. Not that the spots were being held by being pre-registered, but meaning someone else like officially secured their a spot. So and that was the only way to do that was to make your payment. So we will let you know when we have a future retreat. It's kind of overwhelming at the same time. There's just so much going on. So if I look like I'm a little out of it, it's because there's just a lot going on. So I'm trying to be here and be present, and then at the same time go through like a personal experience. And it's like, whoa. But we are so freaking excited and so grateful that we filled it up so fast. I mean, literally it was like within 5 days, the retreat was completely booked up. So totally amazing. Thank you everyone for your interest. We had like over 50 people who actually pre-registered for it. But I do have an event if you're still like feeling the need to come to Sedona and hang out with me. I have an event happening on June 13th, and it is a vortex hike in the morning. We are also going to be gathering together for food, but of course it's like everyone's responsible for their own food. So I'm gonna suggest we go to this restaurant that I love, And it's going to be just amazing. And then in the evening, we're going to get together outside in nature on the Red Rocks and just be with the earth, be with the sky, watch the moon rise, the full moon in Sag rise, and spend some time in ceremony together. So something new and something exciting that I've never done before. It's my very first live event. So if you want to be a part of that, it's just one day, June 13th, and you can sign up by clicking the link below. And if you are new to my broadcasts, make sure that you subscribe, and thank you to all the new subscribers. Also, hit the notification bell so you get notified of when I go live and when I upload videos. And then make sure you download my free moon astrology guide, which will tell you what your psychic gifts are based off of your moon sign. And then it'll enter you into my email list. And then from there, I send out a weekly moon magic report. So thank you all for being here. So excited for what's coming up next. So many intense changes for me in my life in the next couple of months. So many firsts. And oh my God, it's like, whoo, you guys are going to watch me go through some crazy shit. All right. So Tara, can you put up your question? You are the first on the list. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome in. And hello, Dawn. Welcome in. Thank you guys all for being here. So I see a couple of new people just came in. So the list is the following so far. We've got Tara, Jude, Megan, Jennifer, and then Jeanette. And we're just going to go one at a time. Tara's putting up her question first. And you can choose you can do astrology or tarot. I have both available. And last week I actually did a mini human design reading, and it was fun. And I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert yet, but I've been diving pretty deep into it. So I'm cool with doing those two. If you're unfamiliar with human design, there's plenty that I can talk about. Just wanted to see about the natal chart. Have you ever had an astrology reading before, Tara? And I will need your information, so you can put that on the chat as well, which is the date of birth, the time of birth, and the location. And we are off. Oh, I'm gonna while you do that, I want to show you guys something really freaking cool. A new little toy that I got. We got a new fun toy. Let's play with that real quick. All right. That was our little, let's clear the space. Now we're ready. Okay. Thank you for humoring me on that. Hello, Valerie. Welcome in. Hello, Vinius. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Yeah, beautiful and so peaceful. It was my favorite. I was like, I want just that one. Thank you. Just that one. None of the other ones sounded good. I'm like, no. No. And that one, I was like, yes, that one. Okay, so you have gotten a natal chart reading before. So, so here's my question, because we can look at just your natal chart and look at like the energies in your natal chart. So like sun, moon, Venus rising, and explain the whole thing, and north node, south node, Chiron. That's all the stuff that I usually talk about with a natal chart. Or we can look at the progressions, which is like what cycle you're in right now. That's why I was asking if you've had a reading before, and what was the nature of the reading that you were looking for in terms of your astrology. And I will start to pull up your chart. Okay, here we go. And then I'll share it on the screen. Actually, I should do that now. You guys, before we went live, I was literally writing a new song. Is that crazy? That's how intense it's been for me. I was like literally in, like, when I get into those deep kind of melancholy mutative phases, that's when my songs come, you guys. That's my most creative. And when I'm the most creative there, what happens is music, songs, lyrics, music come through. Okay, how to work with a North Node. Awesome question. So what I'm going to do is put in all the information for your chart. So we have 7/12, 7/12/75. 7/12/75, 12/32. And New York. Okay. So let me just make sure I got it all right. We got July 12, 1975, 12:32 p.m. It's really nice too, for those of you that are watching and maybe not necessarily going to get a reading. It's really cool because you also get to learn astrology and how to do astrology readings just by watching. So that's the fun thing about this broadcast. It's fun for everybody. Okay. So the North Node. Let me take a look at what you have going on in general. You have Sun in Cancer. You have Moon in Virgo. You have Saturn conjunct your Sun. You also have Mercury in Cancer as well. The Sun is in your 10th house of career. You are a Libra rising. You have Uranus in your first house. Neptune is conjunct your North Node. That's significant. And Mars in Taurus, Chiron in Aries, Jupiter also in Aries. Okay. So there's a lot going on that is like important to look at. We're just going to go one by one, like adding on. So the things that call my attention, your Uranus in your first house means that you're very unique. You have a unique personality and you are different. So don't feel weird about being different, because that's just naturally who you are. Don't try to be like anybody else, because you're naturally very, very unique and different. You are also, however, quite serious and definitely focused on this area of the 10th house, which is the area of life that says, this is how I'm going to show up. So your soul, your Sun, which represents your soul, is housed and held in this 10th house, which is the house of career and life path and life destiny. So you really did come here to shine in the public eye. Not necessarily like you're going to be a famous person, but in the sense that you are here to be seen. You're definitely somebody who's here to be seen. You're not hiding. You're out there in the world, and you have a very powerful ability here to be a powerful leader and a powerful teacher and a compassionate and a nurturing teacher. And I say that because Saturn is right there. So you have also this energy of wisdom that comes through you naturally because the Sun and Saturn are very, very close together, pretty much conjunct in your chart. And that means that there's a seriousness about you. You take your life path and you take your life purpose seriously. And you should. And it's definitely, you are here to nurture. You are here to take care of others. This is what the Cancer energy in the 10th house does. This is all part of your destiny, right? So there's many places in your chart where you can find destiny, and this is one of them. So you are this very nurturing, this is like the moon goddess. The moon goddess that comes through, and she is at her best. She's the high priestess. She embodies the sacred feminine. She embodies her flow. She understands all of that. So this is a big part of your destiny. The way that you materialize, that your spirit materializes here in the third dimension, is through nurturing, love, feelings. You have to listen to how you feel. You have to pay attention to the natural flow of your emotions, your moon centers. All of that is a huge part of why you came here on this planet, and to be a teacher and a wise teacher when it comes to that. Now, the journey that you're healing in this life is with Chiron in Aries. You are here to heal your sense of feeling like you don't know who you are, like you don't have an identity and you don't know why you're here. And what's going to happen is that what's going to teach you the most to heal this insecurity about, I don't know who I am, is relationships. Relationships will teach you everything about yourself. You are actually, there's a couple of things that are significant. One of them is that right now, this year, you are actually, you're going through your Jupiter return. And the Jupiter return is a moment in life when Jupiter comes back to the sign that it was in when you were born, which is actually a positive thing for you. And what it gives you is abundance, the opportunities for abundance in your life, and the opportunities, this area of your life will be magnified, which is the 6th house and the 7th house. So you have to really focus on being present this year, and you have to notice that you're going to be doing a lot of healing, and in your relationships, intimate business partnerships, all of that. You're also, this is the other interesting thing, is that you're going through your reversal, nodal reversal. So right now the North Node is in Taurus, but you have the South Node in Taurus. And the South Node is in Scorpio, but you have the North Node in Scorpio. So this is a time when we go through the reversal of the nodes that can feel like something is off, where you have to pay attention to what it means for you to have North Node Scorpio and South Node Taurus. So your North Node is in your 2nd house of Taurus, which is a good thing. So the fact that the North Node is currently in Taurus and your North Node is in the 2nd house is matching. And so even though it is the reversal of the nodes, where it can be a time that you feel uncomfortable, like you're not being able to live out your destiny, even though that's what's going on, you can still focus on the North Node in Taurus because it's in your 2nd house, which is the energy that rules the sign of Taurus. So North Node Taurus collectively right now is saying, find things that bring you more stability. Don't go the other way. See, Scorpio can tend to, especially with the South Node in Scorpio, it can tend to be dramatic. It can tend to be excessive. It can tend to be possessive, obsessive, a lot of tower moments. And the thing in your chart is that having the South Node in Taurus means that this is something that you are used to, is playing it safe. And the thing about your life is you did not come here to play it safe. Why do I say that? Because you have your North Node in Scorpio. And North Node in Scorpio is literally getting out of your comfort zone of safety, what you think is safe, and facing your fears and going through the dark nights of the soul and learning how to take more risks in life. So this is how you can take advantage of this energy. And when you surrender and you actually trust your intuition, you actually have Neptune on a royal fixed star called Antares. It is known as the heart of the scorpion. So this is a big theme for you. But when you begin to surrender to the need to be in control of life and surrender into the natural flow of evolution with its highs and lows, its ups and downs, its risks, its danger, its scary, transformations and transmutations. It's the face the shadows, and which basically just means face your fears. You will actually find more stability in your life because you will discover more about yourself. And you will feel like you are stepping more into your destiny and not always playing it safe. So that's the biggest thing in your chart, is that you are here to take more risks and to not be afraid to go out there and explore a little bit more, face the shadows, transmute your shadows into gifts, to not be afraid of the shadows, to not be afraid of the moments in your life that are transmutative, that ask you to become the butterfly, to let go of being the caterpillar and to become the butterfly. So that's what I would say is the most important thing to understand about your nodal axis and your North Node. So hopefully that gave you some insight. So thank you for getting a reading, Tara. And next we have Jude, and I actually already have her information. So I'm going to, let's go back over here. I'm going to enter it in. And I know you wanted a progressed chart reading, so we will do that. All right, so here we go. Let me just make sure I have it all right. So she wanted to look at the progressed chart. So that's what we're going to look at. Okay. So let's see. You've got progress sun in the sign of Virgo. The progressed moon in the sign of Aries. And so that means that you recently went through the full moon progressed phase in your chart. So let's actually take a look at when that actually happened. Thank you. I will see you in the Moon Goddess training when it becomes available next. So yeah, that's awesome. The next one is going to be in January. Okay. So next year I'm going to have all three levels together, meaning when you sign up for it, you'll be able to sign up for all the levels. Well, let's go back actually. And the marketing will be, the programs will be the same, but I'm going to market it just slightly differently. so that people can, when they sign up, they can sign up for the whole year journey from the beginning. This year was the pilot year. How does it feel for those of you that are doing it this year? How does it feel to be in the pilot year? All right. So what I'm doing right now while I'm talking, I'm actually doing something, is going to find out when was the full moon phase in your chart. So 2019, so January 19 of 2019 was when you reached a point in your life that was the culmination of something. There was a 28.5-year cycle, or actually a 14-year cycle, that it began 14 years ago. You were exactly halfway through it on January of 2019, so the beginning of 2019. And what this, it feels adventurous. I love that, Maria. What this actually meant for you is that 14 years before, you had started a cycle, a process that was reaching its culmination, its fruition. And whenever you have a full moon progressed phase, this is a time where in your life you feel like you have come to the ending of a story, where all of a sudden things seem to be really heightened, and you're literally harvesting everything that you created and manifested. So depending on what was the harvesting that you were doing, you may have felt that you, in 2019, I mean, that you were either harvesting a crop, like a full crop of beautiful, like whatever you were growing, or a crop of weeds. It feels very special to be a moon goddess. Yeah. So that's what you just finished. And now you find yourself in this phase called the disseminating moon. And your moon is actually about to switch signs as well. So you may have felt for the last 2.5 years that you are maybe a little bit more wanting to take action, or maybe a little bit more, maybe with a little bit of more energy to do things. However, that might have felt counterintuitive, because what you're actually supposed to do after you have that full moon phase is just relax, because from now on you don't need to do any work. You're not moving towards something that is, beginning or that is culminating. You're actually just finished that. And so now you just rest and you relax and you just enjoy whatever it was that showed up in your life. Now with the moon in Aries, you're going to feel a little bit more action driven, but as the moon moves into Taurus in your chart, in November, you're going to feel a shift into desiring much more pleasure, stability. And what I mean by pleasure, I mean things that make you feel good, things that make you feel comfortable and safe and secure. You're going to desire more security. So I wanted to read a little bit about what it means to be in this disseminating phase, so you can understand a little bit more about it. So, the harvest is over. That which has not been reaped now has to be left behind. Whether this is a good or a bad thing, you are now at a stage of realizing that the lovely swelling energy of the full moon has stopped. People quite often change jobs during this phase. For all that can be achieved has been achieved from the present pathway. It is now time to examine the crop and reevaluate, to think about the current position, to extract the most from what has recently been harvested. This phase represents the first waning phase of the moon, and thus is the commencement of a more internal, reflective, and productive period that will last in varying degrees for 14 years. And so this is what you are kind of experiencing right now. It's the release of the intensity. And that's what to focus on. to know that you're not working up towards something. It's like you can just kind of relax and let life be life. And you'll feel that desire for security start to really show up in your life as soon as this moon leaves the sign of Aries in your chart and enters into the sign of Taurus. All right. So thank you so much, Jude. So next we have Megan. Are you here, Megan? After Megan, we have Jennifer. And then after Jennifer, we have Jeanette. And I'm going to check. I feel like maybe somebody else got on the list, but I'm not sure. So we're going to go check real quick. Okay, so Venice is after Jeanette. All right, there we go. And then again, thank you everyone for being here. So Megan, if you're here, let us know and put up your question. If not, Jennifer, have your question ready just in case. Everybody actually have your question ready, typed up and ready to go with all your information, especially if you're doing astrology or the human design. But make sure you have it ready so that you can... see, this is like my brain is like, it's been really out in the ethers today. So we can just have a more kind of a fluid flow in between the readings. The disseminating moon. So Jude is in the disseminating phase. So it's not time to take action. It's not a time to, and you'll notice when you really sit down, here's the thing. When you sit down to actually watch and observe and contemplate, this is why it's so challenging for anyone to, change old habits and things like that, is because we don't often realize how much our perception of how our life is going is really just that, our perception in the moment. But if we sit down and if we're able to take a look from a higher perspective and look at everything in our lives, we can see the stories, the patterns, everything that got us to where we are today. And it's only then when you can see this higher perspective, it's almost as if you were looking at your life from the fifth dimension and seeing everything and all the stories and all the reasons and all giving. And then you have to give, your pain, you have to give it reason, you have to give it logic, you have to say, this is how this pain served me, this is how this thing served me in my life. Only then can you even begin to look at how your life can change. Only then. It's not, it's really not, and this is for everyone, it's really not about knowing the answers right now. And it's not about what's going on right now. What's going on right now is only the reaction to the effect of a certain cause that began before this moment. Every moment is like a reaction, an effect. And it had a cause somewhere. But if you are not in a place, to do that contemplation and to do that realization, then you may not feel like anything can change. Because when you're only looking at your life from one perspective, it's almost like if you have these blinders on and you're only looking at life from one perspective, you're only going to see that one perspective. And it'll never go any further than that. And that's really important for all of us to recognize when we want to heal, when we want to move, to change our lives, to change. We want more abundance. If we want, something else in our lives, that is the only way. But, we get used to seeing things a certain way. That's why it's so challenging to open up to see it another way. Because I can promise you there are many, 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 many other perspectives and many, many, many other ways to see the same thing, the same experience that you're having. There are many, many other perspectives to see it from, many other lenses to see it from. But if you're not able to even acknowledge or recognize that there are other lenses to look at yourself through, then you'll never get out of the one that you're in. You'll never get out of the one that you're looking at everything through. You'll just be stuck there until you're able to take a step back and acknowledge that there's another way to look at your life in this moment. So I don't think Megan is here yet. So Jennifer, will you put up your question, please? Hello, Lynette. Welcome in. Yes, there's been a lot going on. A lot going on. We're all going through these crazy ups and downs for sure. So what is of most interest to you in terms of, I'm assuming you want to look at your astrology, Jennifer? Hi, I knew it. I knew it. All right. So I'm going to see if I can possibly pull up your chart here on my iPad. So give me 1 second. I think I'm going to eventually obviously get the program, but I think I can do it just directly from the iPad. And I think that'd actually be a lot of fun. So let's go to my human. So here's the question for you to answer as I'm looking at your chart. What do you know, if anything, about your human design chart? It is fun, Lynette. It is nice to know, let's just hang out. Let's just hang out with Jai for a minute. That's kind of how it feels like to me. All right. So we've got, let's put in the information. June 13th, 88. All right. Let's go first. June 13th, 88. All right. And the hour is nothing. Ooh, how fun. 3:02 p.m. And the town is Cleveland. All right. June 13th, 1988. 3:02 p.m. Cleveland, Ohio. So let's check it out. Ooh, look at this. This is so funny. This is my second ever human design reading, and it's another manifester. And you have a really interesting freaking chart. Whoa, this is really cool. Okay, so here's what we are looking at, Jennifer. You are what we call, I'm going to move up a little bit just so we can kind of see these chart properties. I don't know if you can actually see. Yeah, you read it because it's kind of small. But you are a manifester. Your strategy is to inform, and I'll explain all this. Your authority is emotional, so based on how something makes you feel. You're a 1-3 manifester, the establisher of knowledge and truth. That's really, really cool. Cold food. Ooh, that's interesting. Cold food. And your strongest sense, touch, environment, mountains. All right. So here's what we're looking at. What is the manifester? The manifester is someone who has an aura that's like closed and repelling. And what I mean by that, not like you're some weird thing, but I think there's only, I don't know, it's something small, like 7. Manifestors are not, they're rare. They're kind of rare. They're not like a huge percentage of the population. Most people in the world are generators and manifesting generators. So, but manifestors are this. The reason they have a close and repelling aura is because they are here to, Dawn, it's because they are here to just get things done. They are the one type that can literally like, you can have an idea of something that you want to do and you can actually make it happen. And it's very easy for you to make it happen because that's what you're here to do. You are here to just manifest. That's what being a manifester means. Here's what happens with manifestors. They don't understand how other people don't have that ability. They often don't understand that others, they don't have this design. And so it's just, as a manifestor, you will most likely go and just live your life and you will most likely get a lot of resistance from people because they don't understand, vice versa. You don't understand them, they don't understand you, how you work. What's going to happen if you are not able to do and manifest in your life the things that you want, the things that, because you're an emotional authority, it's when you're going to feel it. You have to feel it. It'll feel like it's the right thing to do, or it'll feel like it's not the right thing to do. And if you feel like you want to do something and it feels like, yes, this is what I want to do, this is the right thing to do, I feel good about it, that's your gauge. You need to pay attention to how you feel about it. Your emotions are a huge part of your manifesting style. So when it feels right and you want to go do it, instead of just going and doing it, before you just like launch into a project or launch into something, you need to tell people that you're going to do that. Because the minute that you inform, and this is why your strategy is to inform, this means that the minute that you inform people, it releases the resistance from others around you. They're just going to let you go do what you're going to do because it's important to let people know, like, something is about to happen and I'm going to go do it. Thank you very much. Goodbye. See you later. Okay? Like that's what needs to happen. So if you don't know how to do that because you're annoyed that you actually have to do it, because that's what happens, like manifestors get really annoyed. They're like, what the fuck? Like, why do I even have to tell anybody that I'm doing something? It's because if you don't, you'll continue to have resistance from the people around you. If you do, you'll release the resistance. Now, if you have lived your entire life wanting to do things and then you stop yourself from doing them because you want to please somebody else, or somebody else pressured you into doing something else, or you were scared and you didn't know what to do, or you were trying to like prove something, then you will be really angry. And manifestors that don't have that have not been able to really fully naturally be themselves get really angry. They can be some of the most angry people in the world. And that's what's the most important to you, is to you are like the fire starter. So you are someone who is here to get something started for other people to join in on. You are someone who needs to inform others of what you're going to do. And you are someone who needs to pay attention to how you feel, how something makes you feel, because that's your gauge as to whether you need to make this decision or that decision. And let's see if there's anything else that I feel that kind of stands out. We talked about the anger. Being a 1-3 means that you are like an investigator and also someone that learns by experience. So you need to have experiences, and you need to have lots of experiences, and you learn by trial and error. So you have to understand that in your life, the way that you learn is you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And then you're going to learn so much by making those mistakes. And you need to not be hard on yourself or feel like I never do anything right. Everything always like falls apart on me. No, that's actually kind of like a gift. It's a powerful part of you that says, I learn through experience. And so you have to allow yourself to go through the experiences. And then you become this teacher just because you have all this knowledge, like, oh, I did that. You may not want to do that because if you do that, like this is going to happen. I know I did it. I got through it, like all that. So that's where I'm going to stop. But very, very cool. And for everyone, you guys, if you guys are going to get human design readings, different things will come through. Because that's what I see is like the most significant stuff. And there's so many more details about it. But just to let you guys know, we'll have different things will come up for different people. I think you guys... Okay, we have Jeanette next. Jeanette is next. So go ahead and put up your question. You might as well just like... dive into it, if like for me, I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to do human design readings, but apparently I am. So we're just doing it. I love it. All right. So, okay. Valerie also got on the list. Okay. Got it. So let's add Valerie to the list. So right now we're at Jeanette. Megan, if you come in, let us know. We have Jeanette, Venice, and Valerie. You're welcome. Yeah, it's super, super interesting. Okay, progress chart. This is actually really fun. So will you put your information in the chat? Because I don't remember it. I'm not going to remember anyone's information. Sorry. Too many birthdays, too many times, too many locations. There's no way. No matter how many times I've looked at your chart, what I will remember is the visual of it. Because if they're like Valerie, like your chart, I feel like I've seen it quite a bit of times, and like I know like the nuances of it. Some things do stick out in my mind. But just as a reminder, if you're going to get a reading that requires your birth information, then please put it in the chat as part of your question so that we can keep it flowing. But we have we're doing Jeanette right now, then we have Venice, and then we have Venice. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. And then we have Valerie. Oh, yeah. So the other thing too is that I will always ask you to put it in the chat. Because it's like, it's much, much easier for me to look at it on the computer screen when the chat is flowing than it is to try to go back to PayPal and look at all, it's like small writing and all that stuff. So to make it easier on me, I will always ask everyone who gets a reading to always put the information in the chat unless there's like a special circumstance and we've dealt with that beforehand. Okay, so here we go. 7/18/55. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Most of the time it's just like just letting everybody know how it works, you know? That's really all it is. Okay, let me make sure I have it right. So, okay. I think we got it. So let us pull up your progressed chart and see what we got. Okay. So what are we looking at here? As I was waking up from a nap today, I saw a golden orb float across the ceiling towards me. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. All right, your progressed sun is in Virgo and your progressed moon is in Aries. That's 3 signs apart. So you're coming up to the square, the first quarter square. So let's take a look at what that means for you. So the first quarter square occurs 7 years after the new moon. We have the waxing 7 years after the new moon. It's called the waxing square or the first quarter moon. It's a time of action. The action springs from the essence of the new moon. You feel a deep need to physically materialize the desires implanted 7 years earlier. It's an ego-building time with personal achievement taking the lead role. If you are in this lunar phase, then everything is flavored with this essence of action. The energy of the square is about manifesting, pushing forward, obvious to the world. That's very much like your human design, Jeanette. Maybe what's happening is that what you're moving into is the you stepping fully into being a manifester. Maybe you've been negating like who you truly are. And now you're about to really step into what it means to be a manifester, because to be a manifester is manifesting, pushing forward, obvious to the world. The seeds of the new moon are now visible to the world, and during this time the plant is growing rapidly, achieving most of its strength and height before it is needed to support the fruit. It is the physical, this phase is the physical manifestation of the energy of the new moon. So also think back to about 7 years ago or so, what was going on in your life, what began, some kind of a big thing began in your life, and you are now coming up to the point where you are going to be doing a lot of the work to make it happen, to manifest it. It's actually a really powerful time. You also have the moon in Sagittarius, which means that this is a time of exploration. You need to give yourself all the freedom to explore, to expand, to grow, to go beyond the limit, to go beyond the edge of what is comfortable. That is what Sagittarius is all about. So moving beyond that and knowing that you don't know what's beyond that, and just being like, you know what, I'm just going to trust in the journey. I'm going to move forward and I'm going to go beyond what I think is possible. That's what you need to focus on. That's what your chart is telling you to focus on right now. Awesome. And Dawn also got on the list. So thank you, Jeanette, for being on the list. Now we have Venice. And let me add Dawn to the list. Hello, Nelly. Welcome in. So good to see you here. We're doing some pretty fun stuff tonight. All right. Megan, if you're here, let us know. Okay, the list is, we've got Megan, but she hasn't shown up yet. We also have Venice. And we're going to do Venice right now. We've got Valerie after that, and then Dawn after that. Hello, Pawan. Welcome in. Exactly, Jeanette. I was thinking those things too. I was totally like, you were just on it. The coolest thing about astrology or any of this stuff is that the astrology specifically, especially the progress charts, is that it really tells you what, it gives you confirmation of like, oh, I'm on the right track. Oh, I'm doing the right thing. Even though I'm a little bit scared, I don't know what's on the other side, I'm doing the right thing. And it's that confirmation or the affirmation that relaxes us to like just continue. Like, please continue. You know? Right. That's awesome, Nelly. Okay. So your options are tarot and oracle cards, like a tarot reading, intuitive reading, or astrology, or we're doing human design too, so it can be that too. Just depends on what kind of question you have. What are you looking for? Are you looking for guidance? Are you looking to understand what's going on in your life right now? At least choose between one of the three: tarot, astrology, or human design. Okay, we'll do a tarot reading. Sounds like fun. I love the variety. I love that, Jeanette. It's another type of a reading. But let's go with your intuitive hit. Let's go with tarot. And then you can explore the other ones later. Human design is like teaches you how to understand yourself from the perspective of what is like basically what is your design and what is the best way for you to make decisions in life. I don't need her time because she's doing tarot. But thank you, Nelly. Here we go. Thank you, spirit guides, angels, and teachers for being here with us this evening. I would like to ask that you clear the energy of the cards as well as my energy so I can be that open channel of wisdom, flow, and intuition to flow through to everyone who's going to get a reading with these cards. And also in this moment, we would like to ask for some guidance for Venice, who is wanting to know in the general sense what can help her right now in life. How's that? Hello, Megan. Welcome in. We'll do yours next, okay? All right. I'm going to pull 5 cards. I'm going to do a 5-card pull. The first card is the intuition. The second card is the challenge card. Third card is the overall theme. Fourth card is the wisdom from the ancestors. And the last card is the animal spirit. Oh, no worries, Nelly. Totally. I mean, thank you. Thank you for stepping up and moderating. I really appreciate that. Okay. So just have your question ready, Megan, because we're going to do yours right after we finish this one. All right, what's the wisdom from the ancestors? Okay. All right. And the animal spirit. This is fun, you guys. I'm having fun tonight. Do a little dance. Ooh. Okie dokie. Here we go. Intuition card is the Sun. This is the first card that you get, the Sun. So the Sun is a very like expressive energy. If you think of what the Sun represents, it is our star. It's our life part of a huge part of like life, on this planet. It's the light, it's the sun, it's the essence, it's the fire, it's the element of fire. Now the Sun in tarot represents joy. And what I sense from this is that you are at this point in your life, or at least, your spirit guides, angels, teachers, channeling through me are saying, hey, like big energy. This is the intuition. This is listen to your soul, listen to who you are, listen to what's deep within yourself and not anything else. That inner light that shines from within it's going to be a huge part of you understanding the rest of this message. Be open to receive, shine bright. And you are in a point in your life where you may really feel like you either are shining bright or you want to like burst out. You want to burst out, because I am feeling that as well. The challenge for you is the Ace of Pentacles. So this is definitely a new beginning. In these cards, I love because they're very Egyptian. There's the Eye of Ra, or the Eye of Horus. And the Ace of Pentacles is a new beginning it's a new journey of abundance. It's a new journey of manifestation. It's a new journey of bringing something to life. It's the journey of the Pentacles, which is all about, working hard and making something come true, but like using your own hands to do it. And like the process of going through, like having this amazing idea, and you're like, it's this amazing thing. And, in the end, it's going to be so cool, and it's going to be so abundant, and it's going to feel so good to manifest this thing. But the journey sometimes takes you, the journey goes up and down through that process of getting to the end result. But right now, I think the challenge is you're either at a point where you want to begin something and you haven't yet found the essence of it. The challenge could be that you feel like, well, this sucks because why do I have to begin all over again? That could be also the same thing. There's insight if you pay attention to where the new moon in Gemini is happening in your chart this Monday, because it is going to be on Aldebaran, which is the Eye of the Bull, which is also the Eye of Horus, the Eye of Ra. So this tells me that the new moon in Gemini is a big deal for you, and you have to know where it's happening in your chart, because it's going to open up wisdom. It's going to give you a lot of knowledge. And if you pay attention and you open yourself up to it, the Sun, if you like expand, your aura so that you can actually attract what you want, then you will receive tons of wisdom during this new moon that's coming up. So that's a lot of what's coming through right now. The overall theme for you is the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles, which means that what you need to do right now, what you need to focus on right now is you need to make sure you have a plan for moving ahead. Have a plan. I think you're making progress in your life, but this can also be a time of reflection. You're watching everything from above, that you're noticing things, you are witnessing things, you are understanding things maybe a little bit more deeply. You're in that part of the process of manifestation where if you prepare for what's coming next, and if you take that moment to reflect on where you're at and where you want to go, you will find a lot of wisdom just in that space. Now, the wisdom from the ancestors is the following. You actually got 2 cards. One of them is the 5 of Pentacles, which can be a card that says there's an insecurity. There's something that is making you feel maybe like you're not good enough, right? Maybe it has to do with feeling like you can't do it by yourself. You feel alone in that way. And the reason I say that is because the other card that came through is also the 3 of Cups, which is about celebration and teamwork. So to get you out of the insecurity of being like, I don't know how to do this. I can't do this on my own. I feel lonely. I feel separated. I feel all that stuff, melancholy, all of that, is work with people, work with others that can support you in this process of manifestation, that can support you in this energy of wanting to breathe and express out and shine your heart big. The biggest thing that's going on right now, because you get the Vulture, is this is a moment of releasing and letting go of what is basically dead. Like releasing the dead weight. You can't carry things in your life that literally and figuratively and symbolically are dead. You can't keep carrying those things with you. So the Vulture teaches you to process everything. I feel like there's a lot. You've been processing a lot, and there's a lot of trash. And so basically the Vulture is telling you, take out the trash. Take out the trash, because what the trash with the dead weight is getting in the way of basically the shining bright, the feeling, the lightness. And when you do that, when you take out the trash, you're going to feel so much better. Like clean your house, clean your space, literally clean your life, take out the trash. And that's what we got for you. I hope that resonated for you, Venice. Thank you for getting a reading. Yeah, right. And next we have, let's do Megan, and then Valerie, and then Dawn. Yeah, that was really funny. Take out the trash. All right. Cool. Awesome. I'm glad. She said that was great and hit right on point. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. So I just dropped a job that I've had for a while, and it's been a huge shift. So I'm looking for guidance in stepping more into my purpose. Ooh. Where Essa says, I'm learning a lot about my sun sign with this new moon energy. Cool. I'm a manifesting generator, so dropping things hasn't always been easy for me. It's the attachment to the things, because actually as a manifesting generator, dropping things, it should be natural. So somewhere along the line, you told yourself that you have to finish and do everything and all the ideas that you started. But you actually don't. Because the minute they stop being exciting and fun and a 100% fuck yes, that's when it's done. Yeah. It's, it's interesting because I'm learning a lot about all the different types, and that's the thing with manifesting generators. Like, if it stops being fun, then it stops naturally. But we are obviously, we put, the pressure to, like, you got to finish it. You got to finish what you started. And that's actually not true for manifesting generators. So the minute that you allow yourself to be fully in your flow of what is inspiring and what isn't inspiring, that's the minute that you are going to free yourself of the burden of thinking that you have to finish everything you started. So maybe that's a little twist. Because it really is about, does it feel like 100%? Yes. You have no idea how many people I know that are manifesting generators, including my sister, that they're like fully there, and then all of a sudden they're like not. There's another person that's a manifesting generator that I know. It's like one of my teachers, who I learned astrology from, like a couple of weeks ago. She started doing these videos on her channel, and I was like, oh my God, that's so freaking cool. That's so freaking cool. And then she did it for like a week. She's like, I'm going to do videos every day. And then she did it for like a week, and then it just disappeared again. It's like, all right, cool. And that's what I naturally see with manifesting generators. But the thing is that, in your life, you have to respond to life. So if you are not feeling something, and it depends on what your authority is. But if you are like, you have the voice in your head, right? Like the conditioning that says, this has to be like this, or because I started this, I have to finish it, or I'm responsible for this. Those are somebody else's like rules that you're trying to live by. That's not like your nature in the essence of what being a manifesting generator is. It feels natural, but I feel guilty. It's cause of the kids I love to teach, or the people who love me when I do things. I end up being good at so much, and then I'm over it. What kind of reading do you want? What would you like from the menu? What do manifesting generators do? What do they do? What they do is what they do. I don't understand the question, but what they should do is respond to life, not try to initiate. Like, they'll have the idea to initiate, but then they have to usually wait to see if it's the right thing or not. What's the menu? Your first time? It's not your first time. Okay, so astrology or tarot, or I was doing human design too, actually. Dawn. No. 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 Sorry. That doesn't make somebody feel good. Let me tell you a story about today at freaking Kinko's. So I'm like sitting there, I want to laminate these cards, and I wanted to like print these cards out And I wanted to print these cards out and laminate them. And then she was like, it was going to be like this outrageous amount of money. And the way that I make decisions is that I think about things a lot. Like, that's what I do. Like, I'm a mental projector, you know? And so I'm like telling this lady, like, she's asking me questions of like, what are these for? And the cards are literally, but Megan, seriously, like, what kind of reading do you want? Because we're sitting here waiting. Thanks, Nelly. One wasn't treating me well, and the universe was like, leave. Like, I've been sick forever. I left. I'm not sick anymore. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it happens. No, and then I'm sitting there like explaining to her, like, I'm laminating these cards that are like human design cards and like Gene Keys cards and stuff like that. And I try to explain to her, and I say something like, well, what I do is a little bit like, what I do, I said, I'm like, it's hard to describe, you know? I'm like, I use these systems, these tools to help people understand themselves better. And I said, it's kind of like coaching, right? And it's taken me a long time to decide exactly what I want to do. Like, whether they're going to be this size or that size, whether they're going to be, and you know, and they sit there with you at like Kinko's and they like print it out and they do a sample and stuff. And it's like, you know what? I never do the quick thing, right? And that's like who I am. So then I'm like, she's like, okay, this is how much it's going to cost to do this and this and this and this and this. And it's this outrageous number. And I'm like, that is ridiculous. So in my mind, I'm like going through the process of making decisions. I'm a mental projector. So I have to like think things out. And I'm like, well, I could print the cards out myself, but these other bigger poster things, I'm not really going to be able to do that myself. So I should just have them do that. And then maybe I can laminate the cards myself. And I'm going through this process in my mind. And then the lady goes, come on, life coach, make a choice. And the first comment that went through my head was like, I didn't say it out loud, but I was like, that was very rude. I was like, that was very rude. And I should just like leave, because it just killed it. I was in this inspired space, and then all of a sudden this like rude comment like that. And it's like, oh my God. And I caught myself and I was like, well, the truth is that people have no idea. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, just finish this transaction and leave. Because honestly, like, so much wants to, like, I was like, oh, you know, like so many things wanted to like come out and like tell her, you know, like why she was wrong for saying that. But I just like, yeah, anyways, it's just so interesting. But like, there's a lot of, we oftentimes can definitely say things without even thinking. And we need to be careful. And I almost said, I was like, well, actually, speaking of coaching and life coaching, you know, and I could have got off. But anyways, I don't even know why I went on that rant, you guys. It's okay. Let's move on. All right, let's pull some cards for Megan. I had no idea she has a massive laminating machine. The card just like flew out of the deck, did this twirling thing, and then landed on the floor. Sounds familiar, Megan? It like flew out, did the tornado, and then landed on the floor. What are you talking about, Nelly? Oh, it's definitely for you. Jesus. All right, that's more than plenty, people. That's more than plenty. Let's everybody needs to calm down. Okay, was that one? Then this one was behind this one, and then that one, and then that one. Actually, it's a perfect message. All right. Because you said, Dawn, that doesn't make a person feel good. That's why I went on that rant. Because because you said, I'm surprised. And then I instantly felt like if someone said that to me, like after I just made a really difficult decision, it would make me like feel angry and like I did something wrong. So just totally not judging at all. It was like I just saw it. Like I saw how that would make someone who just had to make a really difficult decision feel. So maybe I'm reading too much into it, and I'm sorry, you guys. I have been like shit is deep right now, and I don't even know what's going on. There's so much coming in. Like before I went live, I was writing a song. Like, and the only time that happens is when I'm so deep in contemplation, and I came straight from that to here. So I feel like we're in a freaking other dimension right now doing these readings. And I promise you, like, I am just like talking and it's just like coming out, but I'm not judging. I'm just saying what I see. It's not a judgment, but I'm just saying what I see. Okay. This is literally how it works when I do readings for myself. Cards fly everywhere. That's hilarious. But I'm making cards for this other thing. I think you might be talking about doing cards for, if I think you're doing the oracle cards. I'm working on something else. What I was sharing was a story about how I was just trying to laminate these cards that I want to use. Or I emphasize with the love of her job and the kids I was relating, but yeah, she could feel, well, not offended. No, not offended. Just like a little bit guilty, or like she did something wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it's totally not even a judgment. I just like instantly thought of that. I was like, oh, that wouldn't be the thing that I would say to somebody who just, like... But the more I talk, the more I feel like, Jai, you just need to shut up right now. I don't know, Megan. This is this is what's happening right now. Sorry, when I said find a teacher, Jai, I meant find a school teacher, and they probably have. Oh. That is true. I love all of this, and all of you. You don't need to shut up. No, I feel bad for Dawn because I'm just like blabbing, and she's like now feeling like she needs to defend herself. It's like, you know what? Let's just stop that. And like we're gonna move on now. Okay, so I'm only saying what I see. So if what I see triggers you, then I apologize beforehand, because that is actually what I'm here to do, is to trigger people. When the minute people are completely okay with that, then that's the minute that like they actually got it. Like that's literally what I came here to do. Trigger people. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I don't feel anything weird about any of this conversation we're having. I actually am enjoying it. The first card is the Knight of Swords. This is the card that like flew out of the deck and did this crazy twirly thing and then like landed on the ground. So definitely things are moving really fast right now. This is what I get. It's like things are moving really fast. They're like, it's like this train, right? It's like, and it's like coming and you can't stop it. And you're like it's hard to breathe or like find your grounding. It's hard to like do, it's just like fast. It's coming in quick. It's coming in quick. Raisa says it's the energy in the air. 100%. We're in this like crazy dark moon before this new moon in Gemini on Aldebaran. Okay. What is the next card that we get? The Five of Swords. So this is like that energy of, the conflict that is showing up. I think this card really represents and I feel like it's, it could very much be you said something about people weren't treating you right. And it's like there's conflict, right? Like quick conflict that maybe came in and all of a sudden just reached its limit for you. And so you had to like react. And interestingly enough, maybe one of the things that it caused you is to retreat, because you get the Hermit card. It kind of caused you to retreat. At least maybe not retreat in the sense of like, but yeah, literally retreat. Cause like you said you've been like, not well for a while and having to take like a lot of time and just feeling just kind of like you've been in this really deep, contemplative, reflective space, trying to understand like what's going on and what's happening and I think that you're definitely reaching for something that is beyond, but you're going through this moment right now that is like this portal that was, initiated by, the energy of, maybe the conflict that arose that you needed to face. And you did face it. And so now I see you walking through this portal, walking through this energy to another way of understanding it. And when I said I see you reaching for it, literally look at this card. You're like reaching for the wisdom, reaching for the knowledge, reaching for the understanding. Again, where is this moon in Gemini happening in your chart? Because it's going to be on Aldebaran, which is the eye of the bull, the eye of Horus, the eye of Ra. This is you reaching for the knowledge, reaching for the wisdom. It's also going to be on Orion. It's going to be on Orion portal. So we are all reaching for it. Like, somebody please help me, and that's what this moon, if I was going to describe what this new moon is all about, is us reaching for it in this way. Like just stepping forward, reaching for it. Right behind that card, which is really interesting, they came out together, is the star. So the star and the understanding that flows. This is what I'm getting. She is literally kneeled and she's holding, the water. She's the water bearer, Aquarius card, and the water flows from the cup. It flows out. The understanding flows out. So really you're reaching for it and it'll begin to flow. It's flowing. And you just have to like be under the waterfall. You just have to like just cleanse under the waterfall of understanding, cleanse under the waterfall of knowing. And what is coming through this truth that is coming through for you is the fact that it's an ending. Look at this, 10 of Swords. It's an ending. This is an ending for you. And the sooner that you can like do your grieving, whatever needs to happen, like grieve it, everything that you need to do, like self-care, give yourself time, all of that to process. For me, it takes me a long time to get over stuff. People may not know that about me, but it takes me a long time to get over stuff. And so what I have to do in order to it takes me longer because I have to talk about it over and over, and it can get old. And then the minute I feel like I'm done talking about it, then it's done. And if I keep bringing it up, then that's me bringing it up when it's not necessary anymore, because that's also the energy of the Ten of Swords is like beating the dead horse. So the question is, when are you going to accept that whatever chapter was going on is now over, so that you can move on to what's next? Because what's next, basically this is the ending of something, huge ending for you, where you were not in the right place at the right time, kind of thing. It was starting to hurt you instead of help you, kind of a thing. But the minute that you let go of this ending, that you accept that it's an ending, is the minute you step into your strength. Literally the strength card, the lion, right? It's the minute you step into your wisdom. So, right, North Node Aquarius, South Node Leo is the minute you step into your destiny and you fully understand who you are and where you come from. Straight up. Damn, that was awesome. All right. So that was for you, my dear. I really enjoyed that reading. That was amazing. So next we have Valerie, just to let you know to put up your question. That's what we got. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Those cards legit just came out. Freaking crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. You're welcome. And I'm also texting. Yes, the list is still open. Okay, so let's see what we got for Valerie. $100%. 100%. All right, so what does Valerie need to know at this time? What is the overall theme? And wisdom from the ancestors. Okie dokie. And one more. Wow, you also got the vulture. What on earth? What? Okay, so the very first card that you get is, I'm having back surgery on Tuesday and have been very emotional, which is not usual for me. All right, Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is the very first card that comes out. The Queen of Pentacles represents someone who is actually grounded, who is motherly, mother energy. This is for sure 100% mother energy. It's a protective energy. So the first thing that I got was whatever this energy is that surround you is a protective energy. It is maybe showing itself to you in the way that you understand it, so that you can feel that it's actually here for you, that it's protective. So that's the first thing that comes through. You got two really powerful cards, but the next one is the Nine of Cups. This is the challenge. This is in the challenge position. So this makes it really interesting because the Nine of Cups is about your wishes coming true. So what if, here's another way to look at what's going on in your life. What if everything that is happening right now is actually your wishes coming true? Maybe there's a part of you. We always think like, oh, when I make a wish, it's like gonna come true, and like we make this wish of like something that we want. But when you really truly understand the dynamic, the alchemy of making wishes, it's just the same as knowing, right, the law of manifestation, the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, all the 7 laws, right? You know that there's these 7 laws and that they determine what's going on. So maybe the reason why this is in the challenge position is because this is like taking it and looking at it from another perspective. What you have, what is manifesting in your life right now is actually something that you chose to manifest for a reason, because there is deep learning. There's deep learning here with this experience. And so, yeah, the wish, no more pain. But it's challenging because it feels like I don't see it happening. Like I don't see it, coming to life. I don't see this like turning out the way that I want it to, but what if it's turning out exactly as you wanted it to? And however you're looking at it is, if you can see it from a different perspective, and how another, like a bigger part of you is actually really sees it in a way that can understand how this is a wish coming true. But yes, in general, this card represents that your wishes are actually coming true. So the other interpretation too is that the reminder, of this protective energy coming to you, reminding you that you are manifesting your wishes, but only if you really truly believe that they're possible. The next card, which is the overall theme, is the Ace of Swords. So this is a new perspective. Basically, the Ace of Swords is like a new mind, right? Like a new way to see something, a new perspective, a new thought, a new way of thinking about it, a new idea. Something new is definitely coming through from this for you. So it's important to recognize or feel into what that is and allow this new idea, this new thought, this new perspective to enter into your life, because it's already happening. But I feel like this is testing you in a way, because we did get the vulture. This is definitely testing you to like, did you really let go of all the stuff that like is not necessary for you to step into this new like life that you want, this new wish that you want to come true? Have you, this is a cleanup. This is a cleanup. Awesome. And then the card that you get, which is the wisdom from the ancestors, is actually the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands. So imagine this protective energy, right, that showed up for you specifically. This is what we're talking about, bringing you a message. This is basically what they're saying. This energy is telling you to have courage, to move forward with strength, and to move forward with persistence. They're telling you to be courageous, to move forward with persistence, and to move forward with strength. Because what's going on is it's the cleanup. It's like the gunk, right? Like removing all the stuff that is in the way. Literally, physically, like with surgery, it very possibly, literally moving like dead tissue and stuff, So, whoa, really, really interesting, but also really beautiful reading, Valerie. Hey, babe. All right, Dawn. Dawn is next. And I think Raessa got on the list, so I'm going to go check as well. Yep, we also have Raessa. Okay. You're welcome. Yeah, lots of clearing out the basura. Nellie's on the list too. Let me check. Did I miss it? I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet. Let's check the email. I actually don't see it. Maybe it hasn't, the notification hasn't come through yet, but I don't see it on my end. Okay. I don't know if I didn't get a notification. It doesn't like show in my PayPal that it went through. Yeah, so just check it. Check to see if on your end it says it went through. All right. Yeah, another human design. So, let me share the screen. There it is. Now it went through. Okay. So we are going to pull up here and pull up another chart. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at it. It's December 10th, 1964. I miss you, babe. Sorry, I'm just like having a casual conversation with my husband at the same time. All right, 11:56 a.m. Let's go to 11:56 a.m. and then, okay. New Jersey. All right, I think I got it. I got it. The Melody to Funky Town. December 10th, 64. Told you I'm in this weird, very weird other dimensional space. All right, here we go. You're a manifester. Did you know that? Yes, Valerie. No, it's not too full. If you're doing human designs, I would like to get... Let me see how many... Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can do it. Wait, let's add Nelly. Yeah, I can do it. Valerie and Maria. I was about to ask the same question. This is the bombardment. You guys just like somehow it's happening and I can't stop it. So I'm just diving into doing human design readings when I'm not like fully done with my studies. Let's just say that. All right, you're a manifester. I didn't know that. Okay. You knew Don was? Oh my God, we're all... Okay. The fire starter. People who are here to get something started for other people to join in on. So I talked about the manifester when I was doing... Who was it? Oh, I just did a manifester. No. Dude, this is the third reading, and this is my third ever human design reading. Is it? Third or fourth? Yeah, third. And another manifester. 3 manifestors in a row. All right. Well, I was talking about it earlier. I hope that you were there when I was talking about it. But basically, to be a manifester means that you need to acknowledge your ability to get things going, to get things started, to like manifest things. But when you go against, see, if you're very conditioned in your chart, you have an undefined root, you have an undefined spleen, you have an undefined sacral center, you have an undefined ego. So you have nothing to prove. You don't like, meaning not that it's not an insult. It's actually, you didn't come here to prove something to the world, which is very interesting. You also have emotional solar plexus. So the way that you're supposed to make decisions is based on how something makes you feel. Very similar to the one we were just looking at, except the different centers, right? So you're supposed to wait to see how something makes you feel before making a decision. However, with an undefined root, you're going to feel the pressure of other people. What do other people want from you? And if you do if you go with the pressure that other people put on you, which can be very, very, very conditioned. I grew up like this too. There was a lot of pressure to be something, and you magnify that like pressure from others, but it's not your pressure. So, but if you're doing things based off of your pressure, if they're not things that feel right to you, if you're forcing yourself to do things that don't feel right, if someone else is pressuring you, that you're trying to prove something to the world, then you're going against your design, because that's not what you need to be relying on. What you need to be relying on is whether it's instinctual. How does something make you feel is how you're supposed to make decisions. And yes, you are the type that will experience anger when you are not living in your design, because you're not doing what you want. Exactly. Yes. So if there's anger in your life, that is the telltale sign that you're not living in your design. It's not anyone else's fault. You need to become aware of what it's going to take to stop going against yourself. I don't catch guilt or throw it. Remember when Dawn told the people to be quiet in the temple? Exactly. Yeah, exactly, right? But yeah, that's the thing. That's the first thing to look at when you're trying to understand yourself, is, are you getting angry? It's for you, for manifestors. Are you angry? then you're not living your design, because the anger will go away when you actually are living in your design. So you need to get used to letting people know. You can't like go do things. This is what you manifested the trip to Egypt, dude. So, but you need to inform people of what you're doing, because otherwise you'll experience a lot of resistance. And you're a 2-4, which means that you're supposed to go with the flow of life. And part of the way that you live in this world is you need to build your network. You need to build a network. Only when people get in my way. And people are in your way because you're not informing them of what you're doing. That's what it's going to feel like to a manifestor, is you have to also have, compassion. You know what I mean? You can't just plow through things, but that's what your aura says. Your aura is closed and repelling because people do need to get out of your way. You are a bit like a bowling ball, but you need to find a way to do it smoothly. And the way to get rid of the resistance is to inform people. But if you have been living your whole life pretending to be someone else other than who you are, then people will not accept the new you. They will be resistant of the new you. So you have to start to just live in your own design and let people begin to understand who you are for reals. That the old you is not you, and the new you is you. And only then are you going to feel the anger release, because people will actually feel better if you are who you are. And if you are coherent, right? This is what we learn in the Moon Goddess training. If you're coherent with what you say, what you feel, and what you do, there's no other place like in the human design for you to understand what the fuck it means to live coherently with what you say, do, and feel. When you are living in your design, other people are going to relax. When you're using your strategy, which is to inform, other people are going to relax around you. Because instead of not knowing what the hell's going on and being confused and getting triggered by you and your actions, they're actually going to relax and be like, oh, like I can relax now because this is who she is. And that's what always happens with everything. There you go. Well, that's true. I don't need to tell them, but maybe I do. No, you need to inform. If you do not, that's when you experience resistance. You need not tell people they're in your way. You just need to inform people of what you're doing. That's what I mean. So, there we go. That one's complete. Raesa is next. You have to. Dawn, you have to. That's because trust me, you need to try it and see and watch what happens. You have to try it and watch what happens. No, you're not telling people what to do. That's not what I'm talking about. You're informing them of what you are going to do. For example, Hello, everyone. I have decided I'm going to go on this magical trip to Egypt. And I'm really excited, and it's happening from this day to this day. Thank you very much. And go to Egypt. Like that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, sure, the list is still open. Maybe like for like a couple more. Yeah, you're not telling people what to do. That's not what this is. This never has anything to do with somebody else. But you do need to understand, who you are. And knowing your human design is much more than knowing those few things, but it will help a huge deal just to know those things. You need to also do what you're naturally gifted at. There is something that you're gifted at, and you need to do what you're naturally gifted at. Yeah, it's just like informing people, literally just informing people. This is what I'm doing. But the thing that you're doing has to be what makes you feel good. Because remember, you make decisions based on how it feels. That's your gauge to make decisions, not on what you think, but on how it feels. If you're going against your feelings, you're not in your strategy. When you make decisions, you're deciding with your mind, not a good strategy. Or at least not that it's not a good strategy, because that's my strategy. but it's not your strategy, so it's not going to feel good. All right. So Raessa wants a transit reading with the new moon. Okay. Let me update the list real quick. We're just having one of those nights. Dude, it's like freaking... Don't all everybody get on the list at once. Totally kidding. All right, Nelly, we got already on there. After that, it's Valerie again. And after Valerie, Valerie, it's Megan again. And then after Megan is Who's Your Biz Solutions Pros? And then after that, it's Maria. Just taking a pause to update the list. Oh, yes, true. I'm thinking all about my business right now, and I could apply this and do better. It is all about playing with it and just try it and see what happens. Okay, so your biz solution is before Maria. I don't remember who that is. All right, here we go. Raessa. And that's it. The list is closed. Maria is the last one on the list. It is totally a party. Okay. So let's go over here. Mars in Aries. Okay, 5/31/91. Let's see. $3:45. Greenville. was MS again? Whatever. Massachusetts? Okay, May 31st, 91. That's April. Okay. May 31st, 91, 3:45 p.m. Okay. Oops. Transits. Just getting it right at the exact moment. Okay. All right. Oh, but the system did it, so Mississippi. Yeah, I suck at that game. Tip. I save my readings in a separate folder on YouTube and can rewatch, share, and like. Okay. So, let's take a look. 9 degrees of Gemini. Give me a second. Oh, shit. Alrighty then. That's quite intense. Sorry, I'm thinking. '22 Taurus is also in your 8th house. Okay. So I'm sure you've already looked at this, but the new moon is happening at 9 degrees of Gemini, and it's happening exactly on your sun at 9 degrees of Gemini. On your birthday, right? Like this is actually quite a big deal. Lately I've been feeling disconnected from my old self, friends, family, and it's been kind of a lot emotional. So you're a projector, right? So this is like a huge beginning. This is like a huge initiation for you. And we've had a lot of transits lately that are actually really heavy and intense. And I mean, we can see how much is like going on, you know, but you need to also go deeper into everything that you see. Like don't trust everything that you see and hear. For you, truth and knowledge and wisdom comes through naturally. But what I feel like when I'm tapping into the frequency of this moon, because it's all happening in your 8th house. I mean, you've got the North Node in your 8th house. You've got the new moon in your 8th house. You've got Mercury right there, and he was just retrograding And he's still retrograding in your 8th house. He's getting ready. He's at the degree where he's going to go direct again. But this has all been going on right here. So it wouldn't surprise me if what you've been experiencing in your life are deep, like contemplative moments where there is a lot of endings. There's a lot of endings, and that's the focus for you right now. It's like a tower moment. It's the release. It's the energy of not allowing. It's funny because you said that you have felt, let me read the comment again. You said that you have been feeling disconnected from your old self. And the minute, and friends and family, and it's been kind of a lot. The minute you said that, I was like, the reaction that I had, and this is interesting, is, okay, well then just continue moving on, because the old you that's not you anymore. And that's the realization there. There is a whole new you, and it's coming online, which means, very much like the 8th house does, it gets rid of things so that you can make space for the new. So a new you, new friends, and new, hopefully, connections with family based off of the new you, not the old you. There is absolutely no reason to go back and try to be that again. And that's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm tapping into here. It's like, it's a new moon in Gemini, exactly on your birthday, at 9 degrees on your sun. 9 degrees is Aldebaran. It is the eye of the bull. It is an Orion stargate. It is Archangel Michael. I mean, on top of that, Archangel Michael, who has the sword that, that cuts the truth deep, cuts with truth. It's about cutting the cords. So yes, it's going to be emotional. Yes, it's going to be challenging and difficult. And I've been experiencing this myself. I see how, lately in my life, so many experiences that have been going on for me have been showing me where I don't uphold my boundaries, like where I don't uphold my well-being, and I allow myself to get into situations that they don't always feel right. They literally feel detrimental to my health. And then the more I do that, the smaller the circle gets. You know what I mean? Like, the smaller that inner circle gets. The more I learn, the smaller the inner circle gets. Because the more I realize how a lot of the connections that I have with people in my life are just based off of like the fear of not having connection, or the fear of losing out, or, like fear of missing out, or all that stuff. And it's like, nope, none of that matters. What's the most important is that you know who you are, and that you become you. And then thank you for pointing that out. April 9, the number 9, I mean 999. What do we remember about the 9th dimension? What is the 9th dimension? 999 is the number that connects us to the divine, God. The 9th dimension is God. And what happens when we get to the 9th dimension, we cease to exist as we know it. you're not feeling. There's no attachment when you're in the ninth dimension. You're just literally floating. You don't feel good. You don't feel bad. You don't feel any emotions. You're just like floating. And the one thing that you realize in that moment is that you may not have all these things that you thought you were, that you thought were part of your identity, but what you do have is your mind, and you're thinking, and you have your consciousness. And that is the most precious thing. And as a projector, because I think you did say you were a projector, right? As a projector, you need to learn to wait for the invitation. And you need to learn to stop forcing yourself to be or do things like others. Because you're not going to have the energy to keep up with all of it. Your job is to study. Your job is to like fill your mind with information. Study the systems that get you excited. Study because at one point people are going to start inviting you, but you need to know what it is that you're passionate about, and then you need to go learn that. And you need to become your own expert in that, in your own unique way. Yep, can't hang like you. The farther you go into the rabbit hole, the farther you are from the past. I can't even drink like I used to. Nobody should drink, you guys. Drinking is not... I feel zero desire. See, the more that I live in my design, the more that I realize that just that's enough. And it's all about having healthy relationships with everything. Healthy relationship with food, healthy relationship with alcohol, healthy relationship with friends, healthy relationships with people, healthy relationships with family, healthy relationship with yourself. That's really what it's about. It's not about doing this or doing that in a sense. But if you haven't yet found yourself, anything that takes you out of your element, out of your nature, out of your design, very much like alcohol does, like drugs do, like psychedelics do, doing things like that recreationally, it's going to take you out of being present. And that's just, if it's not a healthy relationship, then it's a mechanism that will impede you from moving forward and progressing in life. So that's what has me so emotional. I'm not really feeling anything, but my mind has to be thinking. I should be emotional because I used to hold on to people. Do you have a defined or undefined solar plexus? That's another question to ask yourself. If you have a defined solar plexus, then you are an emotional being. If you have an undefined solar plexus, then you are a non-emotional being, meaning that emotions are not in your nature. You don't go up and down emotionally. Naturally, your natural state is calm and peaceful if you have an undefined solar plexus. Yes, balance in all things. Okay, Nelly, you are next. Just letting you know so you can put up your information. And after Nelly, we have Valerie, and then Megan, and then April, and then Maria. Okay, I'm going to get just like quiet because I just need to like focus. All right, here we go. That's her profile. The 5-1 is her profile, which adds more to that. adds more. You're welcome. All right. So, Nelly, you are a manifesting generator. The multi-hyphenate, multi-passionate people who are here to do and accomplish many diverse things. Your strategy is to respond. You have sacral authority, which means you need to listen to your gut. You're also a 5-1. Interesting. The challenge solver. Okay, so here is the main stuff from your design. As a manifesting generator, you are here to basically, because you have sacral authority, you are here to instinctively do the things that light you up. Instinctively do the things that light you up. And when something stops lighting you up, then the thing is over. And it's time to go do the next thing that lights you up. Your strategy is to respond, and the thing that's so challenging for manifesting generators is like they have a little bit of they have the generator and the manifestor in them. So it's like they have the energy to manifest, but they try to be too much like a manifester, and they don't pay attention to the generator side of themselves. And when you ignore the generator side of yourself, you are literally ignoring your authority, because you are more a generator than you are a manifester. You are a subdivision of a generator, not a subdivision of a manifester. You're a subdivision of a generator. So you're a generator first, and you have this manifesting quality. So manifestors can just go do what they want to do. And so that's what a lot of manifesting generators try to do, and that's how they live their lives. They just get an idea and they just go do it. But that's how the manifestor does it. That's not how the generator does it. So the generator part of you is being ignored, which means that you are not living in your design if you are just jumping into things and not waiting and not listening to your gut. So the sacral authority means that you have these instant responses to things. And the most important thing, what you need to do first is wait to respond. Wait to respond. So you have the idea, right? But that may not be the right thing for you, even though you had the great idea. So what needs to happen is you have to wait, and you have to feel into your gut and literally respond to your own idea. And your gut instinct will tell you, or like, or That's instinctual. Beyond that, it's not your strategy. And sometimes the yes and the no for all of us is so subtle that we don't even hear it, or we ignore it, or we like bulldoze it with what we think, how we think it should be, what we think we should do. But unless you're a mental projector, your mind is not your decision maker. Your mind is not your decision maker. So you need to drop into the gut, the instinctual yes or no, and listen to yourself. With your whole body will feel it. That's the thing. It's like this is a whole body reaction. And then the other thing is you also need to wait to respond. So you need to respond to your own ideas first before you just go and do them. And you also need to learn to respond to life, because that is how you will know who you are. That is how you will get to know who you are. When things come to you, you say yes or no. It's almost like, do you remember those books? Do you remember those books that were like the adventure books where like, it's like choose your adventure, and you could choose like, ooh, the book is like, he comes into a room and there's 2 doors. And then it's like, are you going to go through door number 1 or door number 2? And then as the reader, you get to choose like door number 1, then go to this page. If you choose door number 2, then like go to this page. Right? Like, and then when you go to that page, then the story continues. But if you had chosen something else, the story would be different. And so as you respond to life, you get to know who you are because the story begins to unfold. So if you're trying to make things happen just because you have this idea or this like manifesting energy coming through you, and you're just going for it and acting on that, then you're bulldozing a whole other very, very important part of you that needs to be recognized and taken seriously. So that's what I'm getting for you. Yep, the gut, not the mind. And being the 5-1 is a little bit of a challenging, because what's going to happen is people will project onto you. You also need to find what you're good at, because you are the investigator. You're also here to help, to, like it says there, like the challenge solver. It's like find the solutions to life, and people want things from you. As a 5-1, anybody that has a 5-1, people want things from you. And the more that they hang around you, the more that they're going to expect you to give them the answers. That's why you need to do a lot of self-care. And you also need to recognize, like, when am I actually being recognized for who I am or not? Because when you, because they're also they're either like the person that like they have the potential to become literally like famous leaders. 5-1s can literally become famous leaders. Famous leaders. But in order to, but you're either going to become that or you're going to become the heretic. So you're either, there's one way or the other. You're either going to like be like adored, or you're going to be like burned at the stake for who you are. And so that's why the self-care is so important when you're a 5-1, because you need to understand that you are here to help the world in a certain way. So the way that you do it is, for all of us, the way that we do that, we make a difference, that we step into our purpose, is like we learn what we're here for. And then from that place, we learn how to do it the right way, how to do it like the appropriate way. And so you have to live by your strategy, and you have to live by your authority, and that will create the magic first. Yeah, right? Yeah, you will definitely be the black sheep if you're a 5-1. All right. That's what we got for you, Nelly. Next we have Valerie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Exactly. And then you wanted me to do the human design, right, Valerie? You're welcome. All right, let's pull up the chart. That's hilarious. Okay. Here we go. September 11th, 1958. All right. Why am I feeling sad? Okay. Your only defined channel is the 2551. What channel is that? 2151. Ooh, I'm getting chills, yo. 2151. Where is it? Or is it? Yeah, it says 2151. Why does that say 2145 on there? That's kind of strange. Hang on, I'm doing a little bit of a research. Okay, 25. There it is, 2551. The channel of uniqueness that moves from the shadow of competition to the gift of uniqueness to the city of initiation. And that's your only defined channel. So when you look at your at the gene keys, Valerie, look at the 25th gene key and the 51st gene key. Where are those in your gene keys profile? And they may or may not be on there, but that's your only defined channel. The channel of uniqueness. I'm not sad. I feel what other people are feeling. When I looked at Valerie's chart, I felt sad. Because I feel like I felt your chart, like I felt the energy of your chart. So what I'm getting from this, and I don't know why, I went straight there, right? I told you every chart is going to be different. Every chart that I look at, I'm just going to intuitively follow what my intuition tells me to look at. This is a very interesting chart because you've got all these undefined centers. You only have 2 defined centers. You have the defined center of the G center and the defined center of the ego center. So the defined G center basically means that you have an identity. You can rely on who you are. You can rely on your identity. You can rely on who you are, what you feel you are. You also have willpower. And having will, like a defined ego, means that you have the willpower to actually be yourself, to actually, do things. And the important thing to remember about the defined ego is also that it's not about abusing the power that you have, if that makes sense. It's about not abusing the power. Let me look at one more thing. Give me 1 second, you guys. We're already looking at that. Let's look at this. It's going to be amazing when I have these all printed out. Okay. The defined ego means you have clear goals and consistent access to willpower and a natural sense of self-esteem. And those are the 2 things that you can rely on. When I look at the channel, or the channel of uniqueness, I can sense that your whole life you want to be recognized because you're a projector, right? So you want to be recognized for your uniqueness. And maybe you haven't, maybe what's been going on is you've been like trying to fit in, and it turns into this sort of weird kind of competition where you're trying to be seen, and so you're like having to like fight for your space. And that means that obviously that's not going, along with your strategy, which is to be invited, to wait to be invited. And so I'm sure by now you have realized, this is a huge part of you. You have ego authority. So what you need to do is to listen to what your heart desires. That's how you make decisions. You need to listen to what your heart desires, not what your mind thinks. Nothing else but your heart will tell you what choice to make. And you're also a 2-4, which means that there's something really natural that you're good at, and you need to do that thing. Like, for example, you are really good at like having desires. You have desires, but if you have not been following your desires, what your heart truly desires, then you will feel out of sorts. Yeah. That's the thing that kind of shows up. And I would look into the right angle cross of rulership. Look at your gene keys profile for the 47th, the 22nd, the 45th, and the 26th gene key. I love that, Arasa. When you listen with your heart, you will understand. Yeah, that's how to make decisions, is listen to what your heart desires. So if you have been not listening to what your heart desires, going against that, that's why projectors get sick, that's why anybody gets sick, or things don't like work. It's because they're going against what their authority is. So you need to start doing more of what your heart desires, making decisions based off of what your heart desires, not what your mind thinks, not how you're being pressured by other people, not by how you feel. It's different. The emotional authority is different than the one that has to do with the heart or the ego. They're actually in two separate places. So it's not about listening to the emotional flow, because you're just magnifying other people's emotions. It's about listening to what your heart truly desires. It's more of like an internal, it's not gut, it's not emotions, it's your heart. Like literally, right? Like Raisa says, listen to your heart. That you need to be who you are fully. You came here to be who you are. All right, that's what I got for you, Valerie. Okay, next we have Megan, and then April, and then Maria. It's the marathon tonight. They are super deep. Love that, Valerie. I don't know. What did you do? What do you mean? Yeah. I would love to look more deeply into that channel and what that means. The channel of uniqueness. So Megan, then April, and then Maria. Listen with your heart, you will understand. This is great, you guys. I'm enjoying this tremendously. I actually like being kind of thrown under the thrown in the fire. Like, I don't know why. It's a weird addiction. Okay, November 7th, 1990, 7:19 a.m. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So Megan, you are also a manifesting generator with a strategy to respond, emotional authority. You're also a 2-4. Right angle cross of the Sphinx. What? That is so wild. Your strongest sense is feeling. Okay, so you were listening when I was talking to Maria about being a, was it Maria? No, we haven't done Maria's yet, but being a manifesting generator. Those are general things that in order for you to be successful in life, you need to respond, and respond first. If you have the idea, that's great. But before you jump into or just go do something, you have to, respond to your own idea. And you have the sacral authority, so it's going to be the very much gut or reaction, and you're going to know it. And it could be subtle, but you're going to know it. Now, this is interesting. Your only defined channel is the 3536. Let's look at that. 3536. Where is it? 3536. Okay. 3536. The channel of experience. Ooh. Your only defined channel is connected to the energy of moving from the shadow of pointlessness to the gift of experience to the city of laughter. Dude. That's your only defined channel. To move from pointlessness to start to live the experiences of life, and they will bring you laughter. The channel of experience. What's your... Oh yeah, 2-4. Okay, so here's the insight from that's jumping out at me. Solar plexus. That's right. Solar plexus. Authority is emotional authority, solar plexus. Okay, but that's actually what I was going to talk about, because that's what's standing out to me, is the fact that you have a defined solar plexus. So what happens with the defined solar plexus, and this will make it easier for you to make decisions. You do have a defined sacral center, but you're right. That was a mistake that I made. Your authority is actually solar plexus, so emotional authority. So here's the deal. Here's how it works. The only way for you to make decisions. Well, this also makes sense why when your emotions come out through your voice. We're close. I've already done too many. Your emotions come out through your voice. We'll do some more next Friday. Literally. You may be thinking something. You may be thinking this, thinking that, but when you actually speak, the only thing that actually comes out, you have another defined channel. I just noticed it. It's the 31-7. And you also have the 33-13. And the 2-14. The tiny ones that are hard to see. But when you speak, your emotions come through your voice. And I can see that in you. I can definitely see that. Okay, so the defined solar plexus and the fact that this is your authority. You go through emotional ups and downs in life. And you go through them over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And this is never going to stop. So that's natural. It's not something wrong with you. So when you cannot make a decision when you're having the high, when you feel like the emotion, the high emotion of something, and you cannot make a decision when you're feeling the low. You have to wait for the entire cycle to complete itself to know what it is that you actually wanted. That's how you need to make decisions. So it is based on how something makes you feel. But because you have these highs and lows, you need to pay attention to the whole flow. And when you finish that flow, when you get through to the other side, then you're going to know if it was actually a yes or a no. That's how you respond. That's how you need to be responding to the manifesting side of you, which is the one that has the great ideas. You need to wait for the emotional flow to finish to make a decision. That's the only way. So it is really interesting, and it is slightly different, and it is so fascinating how you can have like so many different manifesting generators, but then they're all very different, you know? So you're a 2-4, the easy breezy genius. There's something that you're really naturally good at. The 2 says you're really good at something really naturally, and you need to just do what you're naturally good at. And it's not something that you have to think about or try hard. It is the easiest thing for you to do. You're naturally gifted. And when you allow yourself to do that, then you're going to be called out, and you're going to be like, hey, you're really good at doing that. And then you're going to have to like share it with others. But you won't recognize this in yourself because you're naturally good at it and naturally gifted at it. And usually people who are naturally gifted at something, they don't even think they're gifted. But other people will see this in you. So your job is to do what you're naturally gifted at doing, and then to network with people. You have to build a network. That's how people are going to see you. You're not really someone who's meant to be like, you know, the 2-4 profile is more intimate. It's more of an intimate experience of life. I'm a 2-4 also. So even though I have the natural gift and everyone tells me like, you should have hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube and stuff like that. People tell me things like that. And that's not the nature. And it makes sense to me now because the way that we work, the 2-4s, through networks. That's why most of our lives are spent keeping the network alive. But you have to also know what you're naturally good at and naturally gifted at. And that's what you need to express. It's interesting because it says single definition, but then there's more than one defined channel. So that's the thing that stands out. And when you speak, what's going to come out is who you are and your emotions. That's why it's really like you seem like such an emotional person, but it's because you are, but it's actually a natural thing. You are supposed to, like, that's what comes through when you speak. It's who you are. Your identity comes through, and it's also your feelings come through your voice. Okay. That's what I got for you. All right. April. April is next, and then Maria is the last one. Dude, we did 14. We're gonna do 14 readings tonight. That's insane. That's insane, yo. Oh yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. It's so interesting, like, because obviously I'm starting to like learn. I have my own intuitive like experience when I like look at a chart, and I'm learning how to like interpret that. So what kind of reading do you want? And then what is your information if you're going to do astrology or human design? And or if you want a tarot, then just say tarot. Did that resonate for you, Megan? It's my protein shake. I know, it's hilarious, Nelly. It's hilarious. So the thing is, I want to go deeper because I'm fascinated with the channels right now. Like, I'm really fascinated with looking at channels. Hey, Wendy. I guess we are, Wendy. Yeah, so that's like your superpowers. The channels are like your superpowers. So it's actually really fun. All right, let us pull this next chart. Okay, so this is a reading for Ashley. Am I getting this correct? Okay. Oh, Megan, fuck yeah. I was hoping that you were going to get some like epic realization. I'm glad that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so you guys are like helping me to trust my instinct and my intuition when I'm reading the charts, the human design charts. I love that. Okay. So let's check the deets. March 25th, 1982. So what I would do, Megan, is look at your daughter's charts, because if either of them have an undefined solar plexus, they will magnify everything that you're feeling. Just to be aware of that, because they will feel what you're feeling and they'll feel it 10 times stronger. Naturally. That's what happens with I have an undefined solar plexus. It's a gift to sense other people's emotions, but naturally your natural if they have undefined solar plexus, their natural states are to be super calm and relaxed. But then when someone's happy, they're going to be like jumping off the walls happy. When someone's sad, they're going to be like totally sad. And it's also natural for them to do that. If they have defined solar plexus, then they go through their ups and downs too. And they need to be like obviously supported in the whole process. It's amazing. Human design is like incredible for parenting. Yeah. Clear quartz. And same here about the channels. I just started learning about that, and I am digging more into the cross. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. So let's check out what we have here for Ashley. 7:43 a.m. All right, let's go. Okay. So Ashley, you are a generator. You have life force energy. You are someone who is here to lift the energy of the world. You're also someone here who has the energy to actually do things. You have the energy. So what you need to learn to do in life, unless if you already do this, great. If you don't, this will be really helpful for you. Your strategy is to respond. And when you respond to life, you will learn what you like. When you respond to life, you will learn what you don't like. And the more you use that strategy, you have to wait to respond. You can't try to make things happen. I know you have a lot of energy to do everything, but you don't have to do all the things. You honestly can do what you love. And the more that you do what you love, the more you're going to feel happy. The more that when you're doing something that you don't love, that someone else is, wants you to do this or that or be this or be that, you're going to feel very, very frustrated in life. But the frustration will go away when you start to, instead of try to make things happen, you just give yourself the time and the space to respond to things. And your strategy or your authority is sacral, which means you need to listen to your gut. Your gut will say yes or no, and it'll be instinctual in the moment. And it may be subtle, but that is how you make decisions. You need to trust your gut. You're a 1-3, which means you are an investigator. You like to investigate things, but you are also someone who is here to learn about life through experience, which means that a lot of times things you learn by trial and error. You learn by making mistakes. And it's not that there's anything wrong with you. It's just that how you came here to learn about the world is through trial and error. So you're going to have experiences in your life that are going to be learning experiences. And the more that you can get comfortable with the uncomfortableness, the more you're going to learn from life, and you will eventually become this person that has so much experience that you literally become a teacher for others because you've like been there, done that. And that's the gift of the number 3 in the profiles. Your strongest sense is smell. So trust the sense of smell. Literally, if something smells good, then listen to that. If something doesn't smell good, then don't. Food, when you're like tasting food, like if it smells good, great. If it doesn't, no, don't eat it. Because it's got to smell good to you. I would pull up your gene keys and look at the life's work, the evolution sphere, the radiance, and the life purpose. because that will teach you. Oh, by the way, Megan, if you're still here and if you're still listening, the cross, the incarnation cross, is the activation sequence in the gene keys. Pretty sure that's what that is. So far, that's what it is. So that's how to understand that. But I would pull up your gene keys, and then you'll understand what it means to have the right angle cross of service, because service is a big part of what you're here to do. But it's about service, but with what you love. It's what you love doing. When you're doing what you love, being of service is going to come naturally to you. It's going to be something that just feels right. It's not going to really feel like service. That's when you say, when you love what you do, you're not going to work a day in your life. That's literally the statement for generators. Because you are the worker bee. You are what we call the worker bees. But when you love what you do, you're not going to work a day in your life. And that's where you want to be. That's like your motto as a generator. You want to be where you're not going to work a day in your life because you absolutely are loving what you're doing and you're responding to life instead of trying to initiate. Like, it's very, very important for you to recognize that. How is that all resonating with you, Ashley? The other thing is you have an undefined solar plexus, you have an undefined ego, and you have an undefined G center. So you an undefined head center. You magnify other people that have defined centers, defined solar plexus centers. You magnify their emotions. So a lot of times when you're feeling something, you're feeling it extra strong, but it's actually not what you're feeling. It's actually not yours. With the will, you have an undefined ego center, which means that you naturally don't have an impulse to achieve. You don't have anything to prove. And that's important for you to understand, because if you're trying to prove something to someone, that's not in your design. And then with the G center, the undefined G center, is you don't have a fixed sense of identity. You are like a chameleon. You can kind of morph, and like when you're with people, you kind of start to become like them, talk like them. What's that song? I want to. What song is that? What movie is that from? No fixed sense of identity, deep sensitivity to different environments and people. Solid on the mark. I love that. I love that. All right. Amazing. Absolutely love that. I love the affirmation. Okay. One more. Maria. And this is the last one for the night. Let's see. Yeah, right. It becomes mind blowing when you start to look at your kids' charts. You're welcome. Okay, so you want to look at the human design? What time are you born? All right, here we go. April 24. Okay, let's actually sit up. 65. All right. 24th. That's April 24th. Okay. 10:30 a.m. All right. Here we go. You're welcome. Okay. You're a manifesting generator. We've talked about what that means. Multi-passionate people who are here to do and accomplish many diverse things. Your strategy is to respond. You have sacral authority, which means listening to your gut. You're a 3-5, the great life experimenter. So you have that 3 in your profile, which means that you are here to learn from the experiences, and you have to once you stop. Here's the thing with the 3, if anybody has a 3, once you stop trying to be perfect, you're going to actually be successful in your life. Once you stop trying to be to have all your shit together, that's when you're gonna get it. That's what you have to surrender to the flow, because you literally came here to experiment, which means that you are here to learn by trial and error, which means that you're going to make a lot of mistakes and you're going to have a lot of experiences, and you're going to know, you're going to have all that wisdom because you've had all those experiences in your life. The right angle cross of the unexpected. So that's your activation sequence in the gene keys. The 27th gene key, the 28th, the 41st, and the 31st. That's your activation sequence. So that's how to understand your incarnation cross, is to look at the activation sequence in the gene keys. It's really, really cool. Your strongest sense is smell as well. So you have to pay attention to your smell. Oh, sweet Jesus explains a lot. Yep. The great experimenter. And then the same thing that I was saying about manifesting generators. It's like, you may have some great idea. You need to respond to your idea. You can't just do the idea. You have to actually respond to it. Be like, great idea. But wait, how do I really feel about it? Because I think that's what happens. And then when you're not excited, when it's not like a 100% full body yes, it's a no. If it's not a 100% full body yes, it is a no. You have undefined solar plexus, which means you magnify other people's emotions. So when you are feeling out of sorts emotionally, it's not yours, because you're naturally a non-emotional being. Not that you don't have emotions. It's just you're naturally calm emotionally. You have an undefined root, which means you're going to feel the pressure that other people put on you, and you can't rush through things. You can't ever make somebody let somebody hurry you up. That's not the point with the root center. No internal pressure. Naturally, you should not feel any pressure. If you're trying to get things done quickly to release the pressure, you're not going to feel right. And you're going to end up, you can't judge yourself for being lazy either. So to be strong in the center, you have to never allow yourself to be rushed or pressured into anything. That's the undefined root. You also have an undefined spleen, which means that you have an inconsistent physical well-being, and immunity can easily feel when someone is unhealthy. Okay, so you can sense when other people are not okay. You can sense when other people are sick or unhealthy. And if you hang around those people for too long, you will also become sick. That's really important to understand about the undefined spleen. You also feel fear about life. But that's why you're the great experimenter, because you came here to face your fears and have all those crazy experiences so that you can learn what's safe and what's not safe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The undefined, here's what you do have. You do have willpower. You do have defined sacral. So like, you know what you want. You have a consistent energy and to do what you want. You have a fixed identity, so you know who you are. And you have a defined throat, which means that you can actually, things express through you. You can actually express them. You have a consistent ability to speak and or act. The undefined ajna means that you have an open and flexible mind that can adapt your way of thinking. And you can easily pick up on other people's ideas and concepts. And on top of that, the undefined head center means that you don't have mental pressure. So if you feel mental pressure, that's not you. So you actually have pressure. So the strategy is to not act on mental pressure, to be open to mental uncertainty. But you have no mental pressure and can truly recognize who is inspiring. And oh my God, I was literally going to ask if I could be picking up on others' physical ailments and express them in your own body. Yes. Oops, let's turn that back on. No one can manipulate you. If you're being manipulated, you're like manipulating yourself. But I understand what you're saying. It's not that. It's that you don't understand that the pressure that you feel from others is not yours. So if you feel the pressure to act, the pressure to like do things, the pressure to like, it's like you have to sit down with yourself and literally say, this is not mine. This is not mine. And when you recognize that, then you'll stop responding to the pressure because it's not yours. You don't actually need to respond to the pressure. It's very interesting. Bam, what? Learned so much. I know, this stuff is amazing. But yeah, you have to be careful around people that are sick and unwell physically. Self-care is really important. Taking care of your body, eating well, all that stuff, super important. All right. The open mind. The open mind. The ajna. What about the open mind? It's just if you have an open ajna, you have an open mind, basically. No, that I get, but being open to different ideas. I feel like I'm easily swayed to others' ways of thinking. In that moment, stepping back, I realize I don't resonate with that perspective. And that's something that you need to recognize, that you will magnify what other people are thinking. So like all the undefined centers magnify the people around them that have those centers defined and have the gift of sensing from that realm that center rules, right? So sensing other people's thoughts, like they're not your thoughts, kind of a thing. The shadow of the ajna is identifying with someone else's ideas in a fixed way, worry and anxiety, comparing your mind to others, striving for being certain or mentally consistent. That's the shadow of the undefined ajna. Yep. There was something about my heart definition I was curious about. Your heart definition. You mean the channel 4521? 4521. The channel of sustenance, the shadow of ownership, the gift of sustenance, and the city of philanthropy. So to get more insight into that energy, read those 2 gene keys from the Gene Keys book, because that is a defined channel in your chart. Read the 45th gene key and read the 21st gene key and how they're related to each other. Yeah. Right, Nelly? I do. It's true. It's true. It's been savage like that. So read those gene keys whenever, for all of us, whenever you have, wherever channel you have defined in your human design chart, go listen to those gene keys. You're going to get a lot more information about it in that way. That's one way to explore human design without like having to like, I mean, it's good to get like a reading, and eventually I'll be able to do the kind of readings where I can go deeper into what do the channels mean. And there's also the circuitry. The circuitry is fascinating also. Basically looking at what type of circuitry is in your chart, and you'll understand what kind of another way, like another gift, another way that you have of being in the world and that you function. Like you can be like an individual, or you can be like a tribal person. What's the other one? You can have like the understanding circuit. There's different types of circuits. And if you have channels in those circuits, that determines a little bit about how you are. Like for me, like I have the individual circuit. So I'm very much an individual. And you'll resonate with the meaning of each of those things too. All right, y'all. Thank you all so much for getting, all 14 of you, for getting a reading tonight. This is also me. I am really being introduced to myself from all that. I love that. And I'll be back on Sunday. Dude, we have a new moon on Monday. I'm going to be back on Sunday night. It's either going to be Sunday night or tomorrow night. I doubt it'll be tomorrow night because I do have Moon Goddess training all day tomorrow. But definitely for sure Sunday night. And I will talk about the astrology of the new moon that we are having on Monday. And then on Monday night, we'll do our new moon ceremony. So thank you all so much for being here tonight. This was so much fun. And the more I learn about human design, the more that I am like so intensely driven to like learn more and more about it. So love you guys. Have a beautiful evening and we will see each other again soon. Sat Nam.